So it was impossible for Colonel Sanders to open a chicken restaurant.
1,009 people laughed at Colonel Sanders at age 62, by the way, when he decided to go reinvent himself and not fall into the myth that I'm too old to start something new. He sold that company for like $2 billion. I think it's 82 or 84, right? He started it in his early 60s.
Yeah.
And so, these folks that think it's too late in life for me, I've missed my opportunity,
yep.
I'm just going to accept my victim world, that's what they're going to get, okay?
In my industry, massage therapists will work, on average, I don't know if you know this, from the time they finish massage school to the time they retire from my industry, 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
How much specialization and how much real skill do you develop in 5 years?
Well, if you're just going to take the 10 things that I paid all of this money to learn, and you feel like, well, I invested in education, I've learned everything I need to do, now I just need to go do it, but you are not constantly continuing to learn,
you mean there's more to learn?
Lost.
You mean continuing education? You mean continuing education is crap?
Here is a good example.
Because they think that continuing education is how I make money off of them, not providing.
No. So here's a great example of that. When I was graduating high school, trying to figure out where I was going to go to college. Right, I knew that I wanted to go into radio, so I sort of narrowed it down to 2 or 3 places that I felt had a good communications department, but specifically had interesting, good radio, paths. And so there was this college in the northwestern part of Iowa that had just gotten some big, grant or donation or whatever, and they just dumped all of this money in their communications building. They had cutting edge technology at in 1991. Right?
Just laugh.
And I went in, and I got there, and I was paying a premium price to go to this private university and be in this communications department that offered all of these wonderful tools, right? Well, in the matter of the first 2 trimesters, the technology was already changing, and the stuff that they bought was already becoming outdated.
Yeah.
And I quickly, at the ripe age of 18, realized, well, I could stay here and keep dumping a bunch of money into this and hope that they understand that they're going to have to continue to invest in this building and the technology to be able to prep me to do what it is that I want to do. Or I could go, oh, this is a bureaucracy. And the only reason that you guys put this money in here is because somebody gave you the money to put it specifically there. You don't have any intention of continuing to follow this technology and change with it and keep me informed. So when I graduate here, $40,000 to $60,000 in debt for industry, by the way, that doesn't traditionally pay that, what it's going to take to pay that back. I just started doing the math in my head. And, in the context of this conversation, digital stuff has changed. It's constantly evolving. We're moving at a faster rate than we've ever moved in the history of the world, right?
I made a decision to evolve.
Yeah. You have to continue to educate yourself. People who are successful, all of them, continue to educate themselves.
Yeah.
And the great thing is you can get creative and innovative about how you do that while you're working. For example, you're not working today. It's your day off.
Yeah.
But you're sitting here having a conversation with somebody, recording it, learning something, and then you're going to take that, you're going to piece it down, you're going to push that out to other people. In the context of your day off where you're not working, you are educating yourself about something you're interested in and passionate about.
Because I documented the process.
And that is going to, push your paradigm of what marketing is and advertising.
The long-term part is, if you have a billboard that's mass, when you deal with a YouTube channel, I floated a video last night where it was something I had shot with my phone for Instagram. And I was just thanking the students after the phase 1 class. Like, hey, it was a great class. Thank you so much for your attention. It was really awesome. The students are great, you know. And the thing is, I floated it through YouTube and somebody commented, I don't even do massage, and I found that inspirational.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's drawing your audience. And the thing is, you just need 1,000 real fans.
Yeah.
People who will be with you through thick and thin, either social media, locally, whatever. And it's like, when you have that 1,000, you're done. Like, massage therapists, for some reason, like, because let's say all I want to do is just build the practice. I don't want to teach. I don't want to rent space. I don't want to create a spa, hire more therapists. Mm-hmm. It's just me working on clients. Once I get 100 regular clients, I'm done. It's over.
Well, I mean, to me, that's a really boring existence. I mean, if I'm just going to learn a trade and I'm going to get good at it and I'm just going to fill my schedule, I'm going to get tired of that eventually. At least that's how I think.
And the thing is
maybe that's okay for some people.
Yeah, the thing is, it's totally fine. The thing is, when I talk to massage therapists on the Entrepreneurs Group, I'm not dictating the kind of business they want to have. What I'm trying to do is give them a little bit more business savvy and information like this to be able to have them self-reflect their own ideas and say, whoa, you know, I never thought about it because I am working to build my practice, but would I want to hire therapists? I don't know, I never thought about it. And then they can diverge, but they can only diverge once they have that basic business acumen. My fear, and the reason that I run the Entrepreneurs Group and do things like this, is I don't want another starving massage artist. They can be great at the bodywork and suck at the business, and they're going to die because of that as a business. They're going to have to go work in a cubicle that they don't want to do because they have kids and they have bills.
Well, or, you know, to me it's a little bit about managing strengths and weaknesses too. And I think it's one of the big issues that I have with the cubicle culture is, you know, a lot of these companies are out there saying they want you to build your personal brand and do all of this stuff, right? But then inside the building, they're trying to create little minions that do it in a specific way that are supposed to create a specific outcome.
I see it within the massage industry, and I'll just use Massage Envy as an example because, one, their lawyers aren't going to come after me, and two, they're the largest corporate employer in my industry for massage. So when I talk to students in class who may work at Massage Envy, when I talk about social media, I'll ask them, can you check in at Massage Envy? You know, get people to follow you from, and they're like, no. Basically, Massage Envy has, to some degree, clauses like contractually where they don't want the clients to connect personally with the therapist. They want that to go through Massage Envy. But what Massage Envy is losing is a huge swath of free advertising.
Well, and I would push even further is, you know, I mean, now we're getting into, you know, well, I mean, we're talking about this. No, we're talking about the same thing. It all comes back to what kind of a person are you? How are you going to conduct your life and your business, right? If you are about spreading love and kindness and compassion, you're going to do that in life and in business. And so you are going to have massage therapists come into your business, and you're going to expect them to grow to a certain extent and then go off and do great things, right? If what you just described to me about them not wanting their patients or their customers to build a relationship with any one particular massage therapist, that's control. You know, that's manipulation. We don't want you to become reliant on any one of our people, because if they leave, you might leave too. And that's bad for business. And really, each of those individual massage therapists is their own brand, their own personal brand. They're not, yes, they're the Massage Envy brand. They're working for the Massage Envy brand, but they also have their personal brand.
It's a huge debate, not with just the Massage Envy.
And when, you know, and at some point, I'm going to get good enough and I'm going to build a tribe big enough around me and my talents and my brand that I'm going to be able to take that over here and do it differently on my own. And I might fail at it.
And I might fail at it. And here's the thing. Yeah. I had to accept that with what I was doing with Thai Massage Jam and with what I was doing with Reboot, I said, okay, listen, where you have gone with bodywork, there is no facility in the United States that would hire you to do what you were doing. Well, so you have to work for yourself. Then there's no facility who's going to hire me to train staff to do what I'm doing. Well, but it could not work, and I'm like, it's still worth it. I'm going to try.
Yeah, and let's just kind of let's carry that Massage Envy, you know, example out even further. You know, Massage Envy is set up to do what? To provide a quality massage at a cheap price, right? And it attracts what I might suggest is an entry-level massage consumer, right?
Yes.
And so instead of thinking that we don't want to ever lose that consumer, what Massage Envy might do differently is understand that there's a million other people out there that don't do massage, that don't go get massages. And if their niche market is to constantly bring new people in that are starter massage people at the starter price, then that's what they do, and they advertise and they market to that group of people. When my massage therapist grows their own personal brand and figures out their own techniques and whatnot, and they go over here, guess what? As a small business person, they're not going to be able to charge $40 for a 30-minute massage. They're going to have to be at a different, higher price point. And the reason they can do that is they've built a tribe now that is going to be willing to follow them and pay that premium
Here's
price.
Where I get frustrated, and maybe you can bring some clarity to this because you have a broader perspective. What I see is Massage Envy sells massage, and then this guy tries to break off and he tries to sell massage.
And they see that as competition,
and
but it's not.
When does it become a commodity? And a difference between a commodity and a brand. And they argue with me about it.
I hear what you're saying, and again, I go back to what are those 2 or 3 questions that I kept coming back to early in our conversation. Who am I trying to reach? What am I trying to get them to do? And what are my resources to do do that, right? And so Massage Envy is a big brand. They've gone after this niche. They've been successful. They have enough resources to go out in a big way, much bigger than the one
because it's just
man or woman that leaves Massage Envy and tries to do it on their own. They're providing something different. They now have trained a group of starter massage people who think that a good massage is $40 to $60.
See, to me,
and they've understood that if you really want to know good massage, it's a different price point and it's a different environment. And then I'm going to graduate to that, and I'm going to go follow that. That customer is going to leave Massage Envy anyway, because that's not what Massage Envy
Massage
does.
therapists will often complain about large chain spas like Massage Envy and say that they've driven down the price for massage.
No, they continue to invite potential new customers for you every
single day. Why is it so clear to you, but it's not clear? Because the thing is, Massage Envy did me a favor.
I've already answered
Massage
that
Envy did me a favor because what Massage Envy did is it created massage as a box. And I could start from this to then draw clients into a differentiated marketplace.
Yeah. You asked me how is it that I can see that in these.
Yeah.
Well, I've already answered that question. I'm a business consultant. I'm a marketing consultant. And I can take a look at your business and see it objectively as you can't. Okay? Because you're so caught up in the internal, hysteria of your business that you're not thinking like that. And so I always think that it behooves everyone in the massage industry for more people to be interested in massage. And I don't know what the numbers are.
Yeah.
I don't know if they even exist. But I can tell you there's a lot of people out there that don't use massage.
Yeah.
And Massage Envy and Massage Harmony and all of these other spas that are out there, they're, the low-end ones, their whole purpose is to cultivate new people into massage. And then everybody else, the high-end salons, the individuals, the entrepreneurs, the specialty kinds of massage, those are just the many different flavors that you can go get at a higher premium. And once I've bought into massage, I'm going to be more open-minded to go further into massage and other forms of massage. I mean, yoga has been a great example of this.
The yoga community gets it on a much larger scale.
The yoga community, it's like, we've got all these different kinds of yoga, and they do different things. And so once, there's sort of a starter yoga, right? Most people don't jump into Bikram yoga. That's not where they start.
Beginner's hatha.
Some people have to, I always used to joke about yoga. Like, I used to hate meditation. I used to hate exercise. And yoga was like combining two of my work together, exercise and meditation. And so, you just weren't going to sell me on yoga. I eventually slowed down enough and started to get a grasp on meditation. And then I understood a little bit easy, now I can digest yoga because it's different to me because I have a better base understanding of meditation and connection to breath and all of that kind of stuff. So, the pie is typically always a lot larger than most people think it is. And we get so caught up in this competitive landscape and going after this very small piece of the pie. When I did Hispanic media for a while, and it was a very competitive landscape. And there was the 8,000-pound gorilla, Univision, and then there was me, this little small, fast-growing, rapidly growing Hispanic radio media company. And we went head-to-head with the 8,000-pound gorilla. And my team on the inside, they were always super concerned about what they were doing, right? They were all like, how are we going to compete, blah, blah, blah. And I always would bring them, in almost every staff meeting every week, I would say to them, guys, if you would just take half the amount of energy that you use worrying about what they're doing, and you just put that 50% of your energy into doing what we do really, really well, they become irrelevant.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they're doing because we're serving who we're supposed to be serving.
Because within the larger landscape, the market is actually growing.
Yes.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you talk to therapists, they'll say the market is saturated. No. And it's like I always use hamburgers. Hamburgers, because it's just so ubiquitous in America. In Texas right now, I can leave here and within a 10-minute driving range, I can go to Fuddruckers, I can go to In-N-Out Burger, I can go to Whataburger, I can go to a local bar and get a hamburger. And the thing is, what's the difference? That each of these places freak out because another place was selling a hamburger.
I just went to the True Foods Kitchen. It's new in town. They just opened downtown. And I sat down and had burger guilt because I looked at the menu and what was screaming to me at the moment was, man, that burger looks really good. It's a healthy burger if such a thing exists. Yeah. But grass-fed, has all kinds of organic,
grass-fed, there we go.
mushrooms and grains and all of this kind of stuff, right? As far as healthy burgers go, it's as healthy a burger as you can get. Most people don't go to True Foods Kitchen to get a burger, but it exists on their menu. And guess what? It was a really freaking awesome burger, and at a price point that McDonald's can't compete with.
Exactly. And the thing is, what I keep telling therapists is, Massage Envy did the good job of creating a market for massage. And now, if you look at it as hamburgers, we've got a McDonald's. Now, the next 20 years in my industry goes artisanal. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, listen, my sessions are 3 hours long. And they go, what the hell? Exactly. Because the thing is, if you sell a hamburger, like if I decided to sell a hamburger right now, I'm not going to make a hamburger and try to compete with McDonald's. The way to compete currently is you get a local grass-fed burger with, buns that were baked in-house.
Well, it's marketing 101. What's your unique selling proposition? How am I going to do this differently and get enough people interested in what it is I'm doing?
The sense of it, and I keep harping on this, is I feel like massage therapists on the whole, they're starting to lose because they're still trying to sell a commodity and not a brand.
Mm-hmm. Well, and, Seth Godin, who's a brilliant marketer, right?
Love Seth Godin.
Purple Cow, Purple Cow.
So it's a good copy on my shelf.
Yeah, so the Purple Cow is a remarkable product or service. But a remarkable product or service only stays remarkable for a certain amount of time before people start to copycat it.
Yeah.
And so what Seth Godin and Dave Ramsey will tell you is there's a product cycle. And usually if you, go look up people who have had one good idea. A great example of this are the one-hit wonders of the world, right? In music. So they had one big hit and that was it. And now most of them are Uber drivers. I heard a story last week, I think it was, where the guy that said, "You've got mail," for, he's an Uber driver.
He's an
Uber driver, and people get into his Uber and they're like, "Man, you sound like have we met before?" And he goes, "You've got mail," and they're like, "No." He had one good hit, right? And then that was all he was able to do with it. How do you evolve your business and your practice? How do you take products and services and make them better and easier to solve people's problems faster and quicker and more efficiently? That's what, I have a hashtag on my LinkedIn that I use all the time, and I'm looking for innovation and brilliance, and it's hashtag rethink design, hashtag rethink marketing, rethink it. That's what's going to make you the next big thing. Is you've got to redefine how people look. Uber is a great example. What did your mom and your grandmother tell you your whole childhood? Don't get into a stranger's car and don't take candy from a stranger. I drove Uber for a long time, and you know how I increased my tips and my ratings level? At the end of every ride, not at the beginning, because I didn't want those wrappers all over my car, I pulled out a sack of Dum-Dums, gave them candy. And it was always really, my favorite part of the ride was, first of all, their reaction, how people either were like, they thought it was the greatest thing to ever happen to them that day, is somebody was offering them a Dum-Dum. And then if it was night, we had to turn on the lights because everybody has their flavor. And then there were the mystery people, like people that actually liked the mystery wrapper, didn't know. It gave me sort of this window into all of these people's personality. Yeah. And it drove an interaction that got me a better rating, or maybe a tip, or, now on some of these new platforms, a preferred driver where I can make money. And this all derived out of somebody going, cabs are kind of inefficient. People, there are these lots, these rideshare lots that people don't really use. How do we get people... It really, I don't know what the inventors of Uber had in mind, but it may have just been traffic's really bad and it's getting worse everywhere. How do we get more people out of their cars? If you read about Uber, the interesting thing about when I was doing that is just like everything, I kind of jump into sort of the whole deal because I want to understand it. And the most interesting article I read about Uber was they don't look at Lyft and Fare and Get Me and Fasten as competition, which is what we were talking about earlier with the massage therapists. And, you know, they're not competing with those people. They're competing with your car. They want to make it so efficient and so inexpensive that people get rid of their cars and they just Uber everywhere. And they are now the Kleenex of rideshare, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we in Austin don't have Uber anymore, but we all still, I hear it constantly. People, oh, I just got in my Uber. I'm Ubering over there, right? Kleenex is not Kleenex, it's a tissue.
Yeah.
We call it a Kleenex because they
built
an
effective
a brand, yes. And again, it's all about how do you take something that is and make it something that isn't. You know, and if you can do that...
People, massage therapists, if I say, listen, my session's 3 hours, they're like, what? Like, they've never heard of it. I've never heard of somebody getting a 3-hour massage. And I'm like, well...
Really? It sounds brilliant.
If you called it manual therapy, there's a different set of expectations, right?
Or physical therapy. I mean, like, I think of those...
Because physical therapy has a separate license.
Yeah.
There's a scope of practice thing there. But the thing is, I think the hardest thing is to be an individual. Let all my marketing be completely individual. And then the business continues to grow, but the challenge I have right now is it feels, in a sense, like I've created the Uber. It's how do I get other people to pick up the brand without, like I said, my roommate was
then
like...
I just go to Seth Godin would talk about tribes. I mean, you know,
Yep.
Purple Cow came out of Tribes, and it's still one of my favorite chapters.
I read Tribes as well.
Yeah. And so you are just trying to find influencers that are going to be so into it that, you know, what Seth Godin would submit to you in Tribes is that if you want to lead your tribe and you build a tribe around you, your tribe will naturally lift you up to lead.
Getting massage therapists to do things.
But I would say it's getting the right massage therapist to do that.
And that's a challenge.
But, okay, then I go back to our original questions. Who am I trying to reach? What am I trying to get them to do? And what are my resources that I have?
So here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get 10 to 100 massage therapists in the United States who are ready to push over the massage industry.
Okay, well, let's start with 10. Seems like a doable number to me. Like, I mean, gut instinct, how many massage therapists do you think there are in the United States?
Based on numbers, the last time I looked, I think there are about 300,000 licensed therapists.
So you've got 300,000 people in the United States, and you're trying to get 10 of them. That seems like a reasonable goal.
But here's the thing.
And then
to
10
a point,
will
it's
turn
almost
into 10
like,
more, and soon you'll be at your 100.
But here's the thing. It's almost like Henry Ford driving in with the Model T and all these people ride on horses. And they're like, but I already know how to get where I'm going. And you're like, no, this is a different model. Mm-hmm. You know, this isn't a taxi, it's a ride share.
Here's what I would say to you, you know, if I'm even sensing just like some frustration about how do I get this to move, you know, that frustration, that discomfort is progress, and start thinking about it as progress instead. I'm
impatient.
Well,
that's mainly what I have problems with.
We all are, and I just go back to Colonel Sanders, and I can throw out a couple more examples here for you. You know, J.K. Rowling's, 12 major publishers laughed at Harry Potter. And the publisher that gave her a very small advance to create 1,000 copies, 500 of those, half of those initial 1,000 copies of Harry Potter were given to libraries. You think about, I just went this weekend to see the latest, movie, The Fantastic Beasts, and the kabillions of dollars that brand has made. 12 major publishers closed the door. And so if she would have been impatient after the first 3 and just went, the light bulb, it was like, I think over 9 or 10,000 failed attempts to make the light bulb before he was able to make a commercially viable light bulb. 9,000 failures?